Hey, hello everyone. So this video might be a little all over the place because I haven't done one in a couple weeks and there's a lot to talk about. A lot of the In Search of Wealth process is a reflection of my journey through a lot of different things. And one of them that is kind of, I've been learning as I talk to other individuals and as people take the new version of the quiz, which is getting ready to go into version 3, um, about the definition of wealth. And I always set out to say that wealth can be different for everyone, but in the context of In Search of Wealth, that it is a statistic, it's a number. I've often heard people say that how much money you're worth or how much money you make is just really a game. It's just numbers on a sheet someplace, and that it means nothing more than those numbers on the sheet until you take that money and put it to work in something that you want to do. Um, there's the idea that those that seek happiness often never find it because happiness is a moving yardstick, meaning that if you were to write down what was going to make you happy, if today you were to write down what it would take to make you happy, when you achieved all of those things, you would just push the yardstick further out, whether it is a better relationship, a bigger house, more money. And that's why you can't really seek and measure the success of seeking happiness. You can measure wealth and the seeking of wealth. It's a statistic, it's a number, it's easy to measure. In the research that I've been doing, I kind of went down a very interesting rabbit hole of content that I wanted to share with you. And I would recommend that if you are thinking of wealth, and this is a good thing, well, from my perspective, it's a good thing. If you're thinking of wealth as its ability to deliver freedom, what you might be thinking about is, how do I seek joy? And what is joy? And the rabbit hole is Jim Carrey and Matthew McConaughey. Both might be interesting to you, but Jim Carrey is very vocal about his decade and a half long battle with depression and what it took for him to come out of that. And then Matthew McConaughey has been very vocal about his perspective on life. And I took a lot of nuggets from each of them. And I want to share two of them and then kind of circle back to where we are on our wealth journey or in seeking joy. Is that Jim Carrey battled depression for 15 years. And finally, one day he was thinking and he realized that his thoughts were his own, meaning that no one else in the universe was sharing those thoughts with him. And to him, that was the greatest realization that he'd ever had, that if those thoughts don't exist to anyone else, then they don't really exist. And he was able then to let go of all of the thoughts in his head, which were leading to his depression, which is where depression mostly comes from. It comes from internal inability to reconcile and release thoughts that are detrimental to one's health. And that is definitely not a scientific definition. I just made that up on the fly. So don't go quoting me on that one unless you, I don't know where to go with that. Matthew McConaughey he did, I think it was the University of Texas. And if it was Texas Tech or whatever, I apologize. I should know this. My engineering degree is from Texas Tech. He was talking about this idea of trying to find happiness and how it's a fool's errand. And that when you instead go to seek joy, joy is a feeling that you have today. It's not something that you seek. It's the ability to sit here at this very moment and find gratitude and gratefulness for the things that you do have and embrace that and feel joyful for a moment. You don't hear people talking about, oh, I want to find joy tomorrow. Joy is what they have today. It's walking through an art museum and seeing a beautiful piece of art. It's going and sitting out underneath a tree and looking out over the water and just feeling the energy of the environment. It's something that everyone is capable of feeling at any point in time. And it's something that we should each embrace. So how does this all circle back around to In Search of Wealth? Now, I can't really come to terms with changing it into In Search of Joy, because joy is that feeling that you have each day. And it's something that I strive to feel each and every day. And even if I only grasp it for a few moments, it gives me the energy to carry through to work on other things that might not be as joyful. So almost everyone I speak to defines wealth as freedom. And then you ask yourself, it is freedom from what? And that's when the definition changes for the most part. Although most people define wealth as their ability to control their own time. I've often in my trainings talked about how building wealth allows you to buy back your time as much as it allows you to buy tangible items like homes and cars, or semi-tangibles like vacations. Well, buying back your time is a key element to wealth. So then if wealth is the creation of, or the attainment of assets in order to seek freedom, and freedom is the buying back of your time, then wealth helps you to buy back your time. So how do you combine all of this together with the joy of today? Well, to me, now that I think about it, and in the individuals that I'm talking to, it is being 27 years old and having created a business that is leading you towards your long-term goals while also giving you the joy that you need today. So that means it's fulfilling work, and it gives you the time to do the things that you want to do, which comes down to the systems and procedures that you set up in your company in order to allow yourself to have that. Now, I know from personal experience that it takes years of hard work up front to get to the point where you have more time in your business. Sacrificing most of my 20s and the first couple of years of my 30s to do that. 80, 100-hour work weeks aren't completely out of the question. But I didn't have a vision for why I was doing it, and therefore I didn't extrapolate as much value out of it as I could. And it's in that hindsight and then the reflection in the people that I'm working with and understanding their stories that it really comes down to In Search of Wealth isn't about putting some distant goal out into the future that you're going to sacrifice your joy of today in order to obtain. It's about setting up the life today that brings you joy and allows you to buy back your time so that you can enjoy the ride of wealth creation. And if you can put the pieces together in your business and put the pieces together in your life to be able to sit there for a moment and feel joy while also building wealth that will allow you more freedom in the future without sacrificing the freedom of today, that to me is the ultimate goal. And although it may be a little abstract to you at this moment, I promise you that the exercises that we go through together will help lead you on a path towards wealth and embracing joy every day. And I appreciate you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel below, and feel free to click the link below to learn more about In Search of Wealth, or to get in contact with me if you'd like to talk more about your wealth journey and embracing joy each and every day. I appreciate you. Peace.